Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I Nock tune my arrows, and this is so that I get perfect flight whether I'm shooting field point or one of these big broadheads.
He's gonna jump right there. Oh! There we go, there we freaking go, right at my feet. Oh, there we go, we're hooked up. Snooktown, Snooktown.
So Nock tuning's simple. It's basically just aligning the nock with the spine of the arrow. And we do this so that every arrow is aligned the same way so that the spine is facing up in every arrow that I shoot. I shoot out of a compound bow, so I'm always aligning the spine of my arrow facing up. Those of you shooting traditional bows will want to align it so that if you're a left-handed shooter, the spine is angled to the right. And if you're a right-handed shooter, the spine is angled to the left. Now there's a lot of different methods of Nock tuning your arrows. My favorite way is to Nock tune them with a bare shaft, shooting them through paper. And so what I've got set up here is just a informal paper tuning station, just cardboard box. Cut the front and back out, put a couple magazines in it to hold it down, and then I put some paper on the front of it. I like to draw a line across the front just to give me a pretty consistent aiming point all the way across. Now what we're going to be doing today is I've got two shafts that I got cut and inserts installed already, so we're going to be Nock tuning just two shafts today. We're going to start out shooting through the paper, usually start out to the left and work my way to the right. So I'm going to shoot the arrow through the paper. I'm going to assume I don't get a perfect bullet hole in the first shot. If I do, that'd be great. I'm going to shoot the arrow through the paper. And then if I have a tear, left, right, up, down, doesn't matter, I'm just going to turn the nock a little bit in one direction. Just either pick clockwise or pick counterclockwise and just keep going that way. Eventually you'll come full circle. So we're going to shoot it through the paper. If I don't get a perfect tear, we're going to turn the nock a little bit and shoot it again. And we're going to keep doing that until I have a perfect bullet hole in the paper. So it's a little bit of a time-consuming process, but it's not too bad. Usually we can get it pretty well dialed in about 8 or 9 shots. So I'm going to go ahead and get to shooting these through this paper, and I'll show you guys more what I mean. Alright, so that shot actually wasn't too bad. We got pretty close to a perfect bullet hole there, but just a slight up and left tear. So I'm just going to turn the nock just a little bit, and we're either going to get worse or get better. Alright, as you can see, a pretty drastic difference just from turning the nock maybe 20 or 30 degrees. Our first one was really close. We just had a slight up and left tear. Turned the nock about 20 degrees counterclockwise, and now we have a much more severe low left tear. So I'm going to keep turning the nock just in about 15-20 degree increments and keep shooting until we get a perfect bullet hole, and you guys will kind of see the progression of that across this paper. Alright guys, well we really got some pretty drastic results there just by turning the nock on this shaft a couple degrees. As you can see here, we started out pretty good. I mean really that's pretty much dead on. Slight high left tear, but really I mean unless you're shoot competitively, really that's pretty good. And really I would have left it there. I just wanted to show you guys what can happen if it's not aligned. So we got lucky out of the box, and this one was pretty much dead on. But I just twisted the nock, 15-20 degrees and shot it again. As you can see, just by turning the nock a little bit, we already started to get a tear there. So I just kept turning it just to show you guys again what happens if the spine isn't aligned with your arrows. As you can see, we started to get some pretty drastic results here. I mean, we basically went from almost a perfect bullet hole on our first shot to 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth shot, fifth, sixth, seventh shot. We were getting some pretty bad tears there. It started to get less, and we got a perfect bullet hole about the ninth shot. And again, between each of these, I'm turning the Nock about 15 degrees or so. By about the ninth shot, we had a perfect bullet hole. I turned it just a little more just to show you what would happen. And again, we went back to getting a tear. So I turned it back and shot 2 shots and 2 perfect bullet holes. So this just kind of shows you guys what can happen if you don't do this with your arrows and you're shooting big fixed blade broadheads. For example, I'm shooting the American Muscle by Steel Force. If you're shooting some big broadheads like that and your Nock is aligned, I mean, imagine shooting that broadhead and having your Nock aligned like one of these over here, and having your arrow coming out of your bow not even flying perfectly, and then you put a big fixed blade broadhead on the front of it. That's going to act like wings, and you're going to not get really good broadhead flight. So if you really want to have the best broadhead flight you can, really you need to go through this process and Nock tune every one of your arrows. I know it's a bit of a process. I mean, this took me about 30 minutes. It usually takes about 20-30 minutes per arrow to get them aligned perfectly. But it really pays off in the long run. It really helps you get good broadhead flight, and it really makes your broadhead shoot pretty consistently with your field points. Well, I hope this helps you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and Nock tune that one other shaft I had cut and ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and get these arrows fletched up. But thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.